Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. My name is Chris Hayden, I'm here with Fierce, and today I'm joined by Josh Hoffman. He is the Director of Healthcare at Jobs Ohio. Thank you for joining us today, Josh, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
And I'd love it if you could just take a minute and introduce yourself to our audience.
Absolutely. As Chris mentioned, Josh Hoffman, Director of Healthcare at Jobs Ohio. Jobs Ohio is the state's private economic development entity. So unlike our 49 other state counterparts, we are privately funded. And we are also a private organization, so we are not affected by the tides of political change or by changes in priority of budget. My background, I'm actually a biomedical engineer by training. I have a bachelor's and master's in biomedical engineering where I focus primarily on research generally. And I actually spent 5 years in research and technology transfer at Ohio State University before transitioning to digital health realm for 5 years. And then I found this role at Jobs Ohio, where I get to serve a really interesting purpose of creating jobs and investment in the state of Ohio, specifically in healthcare and life sciences.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I didn't know that was your background.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's perfect landing spot.
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
100%. So jump right into the questions here a little bit. And I'd love it, Josh, if you could kind of set the stage for us by describing how you see the industry evolving and where your team there at Jobs Ohio is most focused in driving innovation.
Absolutely, and I would say we're probably a unique organization. A lot of the folks that I've talked to here are obviously pharma, biotech execs or researchers. Obviously, we come more from the investment or state government side of things. What I would say is we've obviously seen a ton of change over the last 5 years, with COVID, global supply chain disruptions, changes in monetary policy. All of these things are impacting the industry, and it's created a lot of uncertainty. And at Jobs Ohio, we saw that uncertainty really as an opportunity. So what we do at Jobs Ohio is try to create the community or the ecosystem that allows innovation to happen. So in 2020, when everybody was in the throes of COVID, we invested a little bit over $300 million in 3 separate innovation districts, one in Cleveland, one in Columbus, one in Cincinnati, our 3 largest cities alongside our 9 best universities and healthcare providers. Yeah. Really, the goal of this was to create an ecosystem up along our what is called 71 corridor to foster innovation in life sciences, pharma biotech obviously being a big focus of that. What we have now seen with that investment is we are getting into our second phase. We're 5 years in. We are transitioning from the early indicators of innovation like talent development, research dollars, space, just real estate. Into commercialization. So we've been working with our universities and institutions to understand their priorities, and we are trying to put a thumb on the scale to make sure that those organizations can commercialize their technologies, and so that those technologies can stay in the state of Ohio and create jobs and create investment.
Yeah. It's great. That's fantastic. So, industry leaders have announced nearly $400 billion of investment in U.S. biomanufacturing. How will Ohio capture this investment?
Yeah,
you touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, totally. And I think what we have seen is really a once-in-a-generation opportunity with the announcements. Of the top 50 pharma biotech companies, probably half have made at least a public commitment to investing in biomanufacturing and R&D in the United States. At Jobs Ohio, we have identified this as an opportunity for us to continue to double down. So obviously the Ohio Discovery Corridor, our investment in 3 innovation districts is a big piece of that. We also, 2 months ago, announced a $30 million investment in biomanufacturing training and a training center so that these industry partners can benefit from our workforce, and we can also upskill our workforce. Ohio traditionally being a manufacturing state, a lot of automotive manufacturing, a lot of advanced manufacturing. We are trying to transition that workforce into the life sciences manufacturing, biomanufacturing, because we see that as an industry of the future, and they're higher paying jobs. It's just a better, stronger workforce.
Yeah, and just a different skill set.
Totally.
But something that people can learn. So I think that's fascinating. Yeah, I think that's very smart, very smart. That's great. So, and other cities have tried to replicate the success of Boston and San Francisco in the life sciences. So this is interesting. What differentiates the Ohio Discovery Corridor from these other innovation ecosystems?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say we don't think that Ohio is a Boston. We don't think that Ohio is a San Francisco, and I don't think we want to be either of those things. We want to be our own unique Ohio Discovery Corridor. And really, I think what has made us unique, obviously, there's great research at the institutions across the state of Ohio. You have the Cleveland Clinic up in Cleveland, #2 hospital in the world, but also does about $500 million in research per year.
Yeah.
You have Ohio State University in Columbus that puts out almost $1.6 billion of research per year. Nationwide Children's, 2 of the first 8 cell and gene therapies that were approved by the FDA actually came from Nationwide Children's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then Cincinnati Children's down in Cincinnati. So, I think we have the quality that exists, in a Boston or a San Francisco, and we combine that with the accessibility of a Midwest state that is eager to work with industry partners and other researchers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, why should a pharma or biotech executive choose Ohio for their next investment?
Yeah, and I understand.
That up
Yeah,
for you.
the previous 2 questions definitely teed that up.
Yeah.
But, I think what we're seeing is Ohio is an emerging market for pharma and biotech. Amgen has announced 750 job commitment in Central Ohio, over $1.5 billion in investment. HICMA has announced, over $1 billion of investment across the state of Ohio, 2 sites.
Great.
We've seen National Resilience, continue to double down on their site in Westchester, which is Southwest Ohio. So, I think, how do we continue to capture this? Continuing to invest in talent, as I mentioned, our $30 million investment in biomanufacturing, continue to invest in innovation, because I feel like there's kind of a barbell, right? You have the innovation piece that's generating your next thing that's going to be manufactured, and then you have the manufacturing piece that needs to be there to capture those innovations.
Right.
So we've been really making sure that we're not just serving one side of that barbell. We want to make sure that we're supporting both.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. That's interesting. So, I love this question. Final question. Here we are at Biotech Week, and everybody's going to be leaving soon. What's the kind of one piece of advice or insight that you would like everybody to kind of walk home with?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing that I have found in this role at Jobs Ohio, where I've worked a lot with the State House and our partners at the State House, is it's really important for this industry to engage with your policymakers, engage with elected officials. These individuals are people that are making budget decisions. They are prioritizing other industries above life sciences sometimes because they just don't understand the importance of this industry. But what they do understand is the importance of high-paying jobs. They understand the importance of a good economy, and they understand the importance of a resilient economy. And I think what we have seen is the life sciences continues to demonstrate that it beats the average economy. I can't remember the exact statistic, but in Ohio, of the employment growth over the last 5 years, I think healthcare and life sciences was the only industry that grew compared to the other industries, our historic industries like automotive. So, I think engaging with your policymakers, making sure that they understand the importance of this industry and how it can help benefit their constituents is critical, as we're really in some uncertain times right now.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris. It was great. Awesome. Thank you.